Hey, Jason Small here with Brian Atkins at the We Know Dirt podcast here. I guess it's March 10th. Been busy last couple weeks. Had convention that I went to there about a week and a half ago. That was real good. The 100th anniversary United Country. It was a pretty good convention. You always learn a lot of good stuff there and see all the people you get to see once a year. And we hit the Iowa Deer Classic this last weekend. Went up there with Brian and his family and your family and me and Kim. Met David Little and his wife up there and got to see all the Albia boys and
Had Tyler bring all the girls up.
the girls came up and checked it all out. And met up with Kurt Headington and his wife Ashley, and had a pretty good time. It's pretty interesting seeing all that stuff up there. A lot of big deer is all I can tell you. Saw the who's who of the outdoor world as well, and walked around there. But yeah, we've gotten busy here. Start the year, it's always a little slow. It seems like February is pretty dead, and then boy, we hit March and took off, or I guess the end of February and 1st of March and taken off. We've got 6 or 8 farms under contract here.
Yeah. Working on one right now today. We're real close. I think we'll get the deal done. Hopefully Tyler showed a farm this morning, and I think the way it sounded, it went good. He's got an earnest money check and a signed contract, so we're just waiting on the seller to sign. So.
Yeah, we need to get that deal put together. But yeah, we've taken off. I think we've got under contract. We got a Davis County 40 with a house, and we've got a 40-acre piece here in Scotland County that old boy's got under contract. We got 276 acres in Mercer County.
We got 80 in Decatur County.
Yep.
And
so it seems like stuff's really going along,
and that's multiple different farms. It's not just like in Mercer there. That's 3 different farms that we put together, and a lot of off market stuff, like stuff that come directly to us there, and they didn't really want to list it, put it out there, wanted a top price out of it. And we was able to get them that top price.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, so it's been super busy, and the market seems like it's kind of spotty. Stuff's still selling really good.
Ever since January, at least for me, anyways, the phone has started ringing. It seems like something took place in January that buyers are feeling more confident, and I guess everybody's hoping that that we're going in the right direction.
Happened right around January 20th sometime. Yeah. But and then of course we've got a lot of prospective listings and stuff coming up. We're trying to get some mailers out to get some more listings. We have quite a few buyers looking, which 7.5% interest. You wouldn't really think.
Which interest rates have started ticking down though.
Yeah.
The last few weeks.
I think it probably could, but there are still. You wouldn't think there would be that many buyers in the market, but there are really a lot of people looking. It's funny how certain areas stuff's sitting for a little while, and certain areas stuff's really cracking along. Good tillable farms are bringing good money, even with these commodity prices being a little bit light if it's in the right area.
Yes, it is.
But
that's another key thing too. Like when we talk about, we put some off-market farms under contract and all. This isn't somebody called us that, hey, I paid $1,000 an acre for this farm back 30 years ago. Do you think you can get me 3,000? We're not the ones that's doing the flipping.
No.
We're not that style. So we're the ones, when you call us, we're going to actually tell you what your farm's worth, and we pride ourselves, and we sell farms for retail.
Yep.
Now we're not looking to come out here and take advantage of anyone. We feel like that's your dirt, that was your investment. You should get every single penny out of it that you can.
There's some guys out there that have tendency to want to. You call them about selling a farm, and I know that the first thing they do is, well, I'll give you this.
Yeah. Or what will you take for?
Yeah. What will you take
today?
If the first question that comes out of the realtors, now they don't say realtor because most of these guys aren't realtors. They're sales people from the real estate commission. They're not an actual realtor. They're not part of the that deal. So they'll ask, what do you want for it? And that's really the wrong answer. And I try to train all the agents here that, we want to come up with an idea what your place is worth. We're going to look at market analysis, comps. We have a pretty good idea in most of these areas just by looking at aerials, but we're going to do a good job of telling you what you can get for your farm. We're not trying to buy it ourselves, or we're not trying to sell it to a flipper, for $1,000 an acre under the money so they can turn around and list it back in a month or less and try to sell it again. So that's something that we're going to try to do, is get the most money for our client in their pocket. And if in the inverse, if we're representing the buyer, we're going to try to get the farm bought for as cheap as we can buy it.
That's what we do.
So, but we're not in that. We're not in the game. We're not land traders. We put that in our correspondence.
It's gave realtors a bad name. I mean, it truly has. And don't get me wrong, it's business. It's business. So I'm not faulting anyone at all. Okay, but my job as a realtor in Iowa, Missouri, is if somebody calls me wanting to sell their farm, I should tell them what it's worth. I should show it to them. I can show them comps on it, why it should bring this, and with the marketing that I have access to, that United Country has, UC Hunting Properties, all of our partners, Realtree. I mean, there's not a company out here that has a larger marketing platform than United Country. That's why we're with them.
Absolutely.
And and I know that with the right marketing, we can get you what I'm telling you that we can get. And I just think it's something that's not talked about enough. Is like, don't get me wrong. If you call me and say, hey, I need this money, I need it today, and I tell you your farm's worth more, and you say, I don't care, I need it, of course, I've got unlimited money in my telephone I can call.
Yeah.
We all do. So, but that's not our goal. Our goal is we don't sell farms for wholesale, we sell it for retail.
Right. And in the same sense, the one just sold here close, and, it sold off market. It sold off market.
Sold before it hit the market.
Sold before it hit the market. And that's great because it sold $1,000 under the money on a 500-acre farm. The sellers, the initial sellers, lost out on $500,000 because.
And you're being conservative there.
Yes, from what it was. So that's, everybody's not created equal in that regard, and got a lot of guys turn a lot of dirt, but they're putting a lot of money in their pocket on the side of that deal, and they're really not being a real estate agent.
Here's something I'd like anybody that watches this. If you're ever contemplating selling land, it don't matter where it's at. It don't matter if it's with us in Iowa or Missouri or wherever you may be watching from. You think about it like this: when a realtor truly has your best interest at heart, if that, for instance, if Jason lists a piece of land right now, and let's just say he's got it listed at 6% commission, that's a pretty standardized commission across the real estate board. There's different cases for this and that, but just for easy math, 6% commission. Well, if he sells your farm for $1.2 million, okay, and he gets the buyer directly through him and he sells it quick, he's making the most money. But if your farm's really worth 1.3 and another agent brings a buyer, he should want to get you that 1.3 million out of it and split his commission, because our job is not to make the most money we can make.
Right.
Our job is to make you the most money that you can make.
Right.
And that's something we pride ourselves on. We try to work with all realtors. We try to, everybody's so confused with this NAR change, the National Association of Realtors, and it's really not changed, it's just more spelled out. But we always ask our sellers, hey, we want to share our commission and offer it to a buyer's agent.
And it's ultimately up to the seller.
Yep.
But I mean, the more buyers come to look at a property, the higher the sale price. It's a fact. You want more buyers in. So if one of our, say if Jeff Probst has buyers, and there's a lot of good agents around here that have buyers, and they're ready. So the more people that come to your property, if you listed it, the more guys we can come to look at it and get in the door, the higher the sale price is going to be.
It is.
And so and I know there was even a realtor here locally that would write on his listing agreements that he's the only one that could sell it in the first 45 days. He wouldn't even take an offer from another realtor, and he wasn't working for himself. He was working for himself. He wasn't working for the seller. And people just need to pay attention to what's going on and get a couple opinions and talk to some more than just one person, because not everybody out there, and most people know that, but not everybody out there has your best interest.
And that's another reason why we try to stress so hard. I truly feel like that and that prime example, the 40 over here in Davis, okay, there's no doubt that we made him more than our commission off that.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt. And so a lot of sellers sometimes, not a lot, a few sellers get caught up in, well, this person will do it 1% cheaper. Well, let's look, where does this person advertise at? Mm-hmm. We're spending $15,000-$20,000 a month on advertising, a month. And so like this person that can do it for 1% cheaper, they're spending $500 a month.
Right.
So there's a huge difference there. So if this person, they do it at 1% cheaper, but we get you $40, $50, $60,000 more, or 5%, 10% more out of your farm. We're putting more money in your pocket.
They stick a sign in the yard, hope somebody drives by.
That's
it.
That's
the biggest thing that happens a lot of times, or they try to, roll it to one of their land trader, money men and make, get a double sale off of it. They'll sell it to you and then turn around and sell it again. So that's not something we try to do. We don't buy farms.
Nope.
We're not trying to buy farms from people. It's not saying we wouldn't buy. I mean, we bought a farm at public auction. It's a little different deal.
Now, if it's a different realtor, if someone else has it listed, that's a different ballgame.
Yep,
if I see something, that's where us working for our buyers, if I see somebody list something, and it happens all the time, I mean, it really does. It happens a lot more often than what people would think. But no offense, I'm not the guy to call if you want to list a house at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Right.
Okay, I'm not your realtor that you need to call. You can call me. I know people to put you in touch with that knows that market, but I'm not the guy to do it, and I'm okay with saying that, okay? But there's so many times when a farm will get listed, and it gets listed by someone that's over in Kansas City or someone that's down south, or heck, right now there's one that just got listed, heck of a hunting farm, lives in Arkansas, okay? So when that happens and it's under the money, yeah, I've got plenty of buyers that I'll call and we'll, get it bought.
And that's the difference too, is you're going to call a buyer, a client. You're not going to try to buy it yourself and then flip it to them.
Nope, not at all.
That's the difference.
And so, that's where we pride ourselves in that. And I just don't think it's something that everybody's scared to talk about. People don't want to advertise that, and we catch some riff because we operate the way we do, but we operate with ethics.
That's it.
And so, but it's just something to keep in mind whenever people are thinking about selling or buying. You want to be, and I'm not saying that you just call us and do it. I'm saying you check around. You need to talk to some different, no different than if you're getting a new roof put on your house. I'm sure a lot of people get multiple quotes on it,
Yep.
And it's not always cheapest, ain't always the best.
But there's something to be said about best value. But we do try to bring value to every one of our clients. We take a listing. I 100% of the time feel like I pay my own commission with what I could get with what I could get somebody over top of what they could get on their own, or with a I call them, a mom and pop, a realtor, close, or real estate agent close, or not realtors. Anyway, but enough about that. So March 10th, frost seeding, shed hunting, it's in full swing.
Full swing. It is. I frost seeded some clover yesterday after church there, and Tyler's out right now. He had that showing this morning. He's gone right now to one of our farms frost seeding. He's leaving there, going to a client's farm. He's got the frost seed. He's got the layout with marker flags, how we're going to do his food.
Not
this
much
time.
frost in right now today, but it's that time to get it done. And moving some deer stands around. We got to move some deer stands around and get them off fields and get all that done, because they're going to be 79 degrees. They're talking Friday. They're going to be blowing smoke here pretty quick. Yeah. And getting going.
They're getting itchy. They're ready to go.
Getting real itchy. That's what we were just ordering, some press wheels and doing some stuff like that, getting ready to get the planter out and start working on it. So, what else we got going on?
We got a new listing. I'm going tomorrow morning to go look at a piece, hopefully that may be coming soon here. Going to meet with the sellers, take them to comps, look it over in person, and come up with a price analysis for them. I think you and Tyler's going down south. Y'all are going to go look at a farm, right nice farm, and do the same thing, come up with a price analysis. So we're going to kind of divide and conquer here. And so we may have some new stuff coming here, hopefully.
And that's it's a good time of year to get it out there and get it going for sure.
I will tell you, we just listed the Harrison 80 over here, done a big price drop on it, got it back up. It's really a heck of a farm that someone needs to look at.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is.
We got a couple of those 80s. If somebody's looking for a good little income producing 80 with
that's legit cash rent. Like it's cash rent that reflects commodity prices right now.
It's something that's not gonna they farm it a year and then they're gone forever. $250 an acre cash rent, not happening. But we got two 80s, one in Knox and then one in Harrison County, and I would say they're really pretty similar.
They really are. I mean, I'm your realtor that I call it the way I see it. Sometimes I'm bad for that, but like that Knox County 80, it don't come any better.
Yeah.
It sets up for north winds, sets up for west winds. It's got south access, river running from the
Across
on
the
the
north
east
corner,
side
yeah.
to the north corner there, like big bedding from a hunter's perspective, from a perspective of, hey, I don't want to have my money sitting in a stock market. I'd like to put $500,000 over here and on ground, and I could go out there for a week and hunt it. There's no doubt this farm is going to give you $9,000 of income or something roughly.
Yeah, I think it was 165 on 57 acres.
57, which is funny because the Harrison farm's 57 tillable.
Yeah, I'm
too.
telling you, they're so similar.
But it is one of them farms that you easily could just come out here for 5 days of rifle and slam you a 150 or better every single year.
Yeah,
easy.
I put the
with no
camera
work.
up. When was it? I put the camera up on it there around November.
Into October, like Halloween, there.
And there was like 4 mature bucks. And first night, I think, first night or first day or
first
two.
evening, that one big 8-pointer was on their first evening.
Yeah,
like a couple
nice
hours after you hung.
140, 150 inch deer,
Yeah.
and they're going to be there. Turkeys. It's going to be a good turkey hunting farm. Got a little pond on it, but it's a nice little piece, and it mirrors that Harrison County farm.
The only thing different with the Harrison farm
North
is
access.
it's north access.
It does have blacktop frontage.
It does. It's got blacktop frontage. You're not far from town. Like both of them farms are just, and I know was a lot of guys don't realize that, like, they look at the aerial and they want to see massive timber everywhere. This part of the world out here,
Yeah,
you don't have that a whole lot. And these big bucks, I mean, yes, do they live in massive timber? Yes, they do. But there's a lot of other places out here that they live.
draws and little weed patches and draws and CRP pieces and stuff like that.
And then we just showed that a Dare 160. We showed it this past week. We're working on something there. They really like the farm.
That farm's really better in person.
It's a lot better in person.
I didn't know that I liked it as much, honestly, on the aerial, but then it got on it, and it's quite a bit better farm than what I thought it was.
We hung 2 cameras on it back in the end of December, and like there is no food anywhere around this farm. Yes, the farm had cut beans on it, but there's no food left. There's no neighbors with food, anything. I know that we got 1 deer at least that I would say is 4, but we've had multiple different bucks and a lot of good 2 and 3 year olds and turkeys. I ain't too sure that there ain't more turkeys on that farm than any farm that we've got right now.
And where can you still buy? And correct me if I'm wrong, the price wise, but
$41.50 an acre is what we got it listed at.
You can still buy a good hunting farm with income in Northeast Missouri for low 4s, and it's pretty.
I mean, we priced it to sell. There's no doubt about it. We priced it to sell.
It's one that really ought to go. I got that 107 over there north of that installed. It's a nice little hunting farm. Got a cabin on it. There's still some stuff out there hunting. That one doesn't have any income on it, but these others are hunting with income. What else we got that's still a piece that'd be. I'm trying to think of.
We're starting to run low.
Yeah,
we're starting. And that's something else. People ask me, like, for instance, the farm that Tyler just showed this morning, that was one of the first questions the guy asked whenever he called. He said, how long has this been listed? Well, see, a lot of we typically, we're going to take a listing at any time, like that's just, we're going to do it. If you're ready to list your farm, we're going to do it. But typically, deer season, you would think would be a great time having listings, but a lot of people's focused on hunting and all, and they're not looking the internet, not searching as much. And so, like I told him, I said, well, we listed this farm back in November, but I just started getting traction on it here the last month or so, which is that's common. That's how it goes. And so the same thing here. Like a couple of these listings we've had for 2 or 3, 4 months. But we listed them really at the wrong time for my experience and my personal opinion.
And some stuff was probably a freckle high when it started, and this market's changing a little bit.
It is.
It's some of the stuff is running sideways, some of it's dipping a little, and some of the good tillable stuff, and if it's in the right spot with the good neighbors, is going right on.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know we just saw an auction there that and that piece we actually, my dad and I actually bought a piece of it that joined us, and there was a public auction, and that stuff sold gray guns, not county highs but close, and for what it was, and they're going to sell another piece here just east of Memphis. I'm going to say it goes, it's going to get in that $10,000-$12,000 an acre, and so if it's in the right spot, if it's good, it's going to bring good money still, which with 7.5% interest and $4 corn and $9 beans. It's a little how it's still going. I don't know, but
I'll tell you that the gentleman that bought this auction piece over here in Davis, that was a record high here a couple weeks ago. He said that it doesn't matter what commodity prices are, they ain't making any more land, and it's never going to pencil out. And land is the best investment you can make. And that was his.
I believe that's right. I mean, it'd been doing 6% a year since 1952. In Missouri, the Missouri University Extension's kept track of it. And I believe that's right. In the last 3 years, I'd say it's more like 30%.
Yeah.
So you'd think we'd run sideways for a year or two here and then continue on, but who knows? I mean, it's crazy how stuff's gone, but it's still comparatively, when you look at ground in Illinois and I-80 dirt up in Iowa, it's bringing $25,000 an acre. When you look at our yields here, they can raise 80 bushel beans up there consistently, 80 bushel beans. But we're consistently raising 50, 60 bushel beans. Yeah. Okay? They're raising 300 bushel corn. We're consistently raising 200 bushel corn, 180, 200 bushel corn. The prices there versus here, we're still on a disadvantage. We're still cheap compared to what they are there, as far as making something pencil. I know the insurance is a little different and things like that. What they can get for crop insurance and things of that nature. But it's still, this area, northeast Missouri, southeast Iowa, is still at a value. When you look around the country at some other farm ground and things like that, if you're investing. And now it's changed around a little bit. When I first started selling 2012, 2013, you could get a real 5.5% rate of return, 6% rate of return. And now if you're, the magic number everybody wants to put on stuff for rougher tillable farms is 3%. And for a good tillable farm, it's more like 2. It's just, it's not going to have the rate of return, but the appreciation's where you capture a lot of your value there. And the fact that, hey, if you buy a piece of dirt, if these tariffs, and like everybody thinks that stuff's going to go to hell, you can still go out there and hunt. You can stand on it. It's not like a stock market thing.
It's not funny money on a computer.
Yeah. My Spirit Airlines stocks. Hey, guess what they told me the other day? 0. They're gone. They went bankrupt. It's my stocks from Spirit Airlines are gone. They can't never. I mean, your ground may not be worth what it once was, but you can still go stand on it. You can shoot a deer on it. You can go fishing on it. Anything like that. So it's still a real good investment. Long term, it's a great investment, and there are tax benefits to a bunch of that too.
There's a lot of tax. There's a lot of tax benefits to it, and but yeah, things been going good, and with the shed hunting and all. The shed hunting is just something that we're doing to kill time, but what we're actually doing is scouting. Now is the best time of the year, in my opinion, to scout. This is when me and Tyler started literally about January 20th right there, and we carved in some new food plots on our own stuff, and we've been scouting hard. I know Tyler spent, 2 days last week just scouting public land. Yeah. Just scouting. And but now is the time of the year that is your best time to be able to scout and figure out what to do for these deer for next year.
You can see a lot of stuff. It's the timbers opened up where you can see where they've been moving. Now, I would say, in my opinion, the deer late season are a lot, doing a lot different stuff and living in a lot different area than what they are early season. So you can see a lot of that, but you also got to realize, old boys talking about shed hunting. We always find sheds in this part of the farm. Well, in early season, there's not many deer on that part of the farm. They pull the food, but you can definitely see it. And hey, if you want to tweak where your stands are, great time to go look. Throw down a little clover seed in your spots you want to put some clover. And we're going to change some. I know on that lease farm we're going to change some things up. Kind of coming in with tactics on how we want to put the food. And we're worried about them eating the beans up. They ate the corn up on us last year. I think we can push that food plot a little bigger, the big one, and maybe put corn and beans in it, see how that goes.
Either that, or like I said, we're going to try double planting the beans, putting double the population out there.
I know there at the house, there was probably 15 deer on it this morning at my house, and I was cleaning the planter out. And so I planted crossways back and forth, up and down, just trying to run the planter out of beans, and got a real good stand of beans, and there's still plenty of beans. They're still eating beans on it,
Hey, 10th of March. That last podcast, or one of the last podcasts, we talked about my organic beans. Well, it took all the way until the neighbor lost all his food. They ate him up, and it took negative 20 degrees and snow, and took till the middle of February. They finally fell in there on them, and they've eat them slap up now. I went out there yesterday afternoon when I was sowing that clover, and They've ate all my organic beans finally, but
Yeah.
it took everything else. This was the last resort. So
I think we're going to try some more oats this year too. Some buck oats. We did buck oats last year, but I think we may try to, in one of them little bottoms in there, try to really hammer some buck oats in there and see. I know early season, man, when I had a pretty good stand of them 2 years ago, I sat and watched them, and every deer come through there, it'd rain, it'd burn up on us. And they nipped them down to near nothing. It'd rain, they'd shoot up, and boy, they'd nip them down again. They like that tender. Just the tonnage is what I always worry about, is actually getting enough there to hold them for real long. But man, early season, that tender oats and stuff like that, clover and oats, it's pretty darn good.
Clover, to me, clover's the best food source year round. I watch deer eat on it all year round.
Yeah,
and that's no joke.
Once it frost real hard and snows on it once, they kind of get off of it. It'll wilt up on it and whatever else. But yeah, once when it goes dormant. But it's a good one for all the time. It's always good to have a clover plot.
I tell a lot of my clients it's the easiest food plot that you can maintain.
All you gotta do is mow it.
Yep, get it established, mow it once or twice a year, and it helps out with a lot of these out of state guys. That they need to where, it's not easy to just get out here back and forth all the time when they live 8, 10, 12, 15, 16 hours away, and I swear me and Tyler, we're about getting to the point we about took on as much as what we can handle from managing farms. Now we still try to help out any client. They're buying a farm, whatever. We're going to figure out how to get them help, whatever we got to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we got a busy food plot schedule lined up. I just hope that the weather helps cooperate, and hope for the farmers it cooperates too. But yeah, we got a busy schedule lined out here.
It won't be long. I bet there'll be beans in the ground here in the next 3 weeks here at home if it gets to 80 degrees like you're talking in the next 3 weeks for sure.
Then we'll probably get snow the end of April.
It definitely has happened. It definitely has happened before. So I guess that's going to be it for this episode here, March 10th. We're going to get after it. We've got some stuff to catch up on, and we'll be back on here. Try to go on again next week and do another little podcast. And
make sure check us out on TikTok. Your Midwest Connection. I know Jason's got TikTok here for the
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. We got
try to follow us along, and we're gonna we may end up doing something this year. We may end up running a contest or something for new followers, new likes.
We talked to Kurt and them about maybe doing some sort of a turkey contest amongst the Iowa versus Missouri or something. Trying to do something along those lines and get some good footage put down. I know I definitely started pulling some old videos from last year, some of the turkey hunts, and I'm starting to kind of get the itch for that. I'm over the deer and over the geese and ducks and all that stuff now. I'm kind of starting to feel like killing a turkey. So, but anyway, all right. Well, check us out on our Facebook page, YouTube. Give us a call at the office 660-465-2971. You can give Brian a call on his cell phone
641-208-0724.
All right. We'll see you.